my favourite punk moment is, you always think of something like Com, don't you? Because she does amazing stuff with tartan. But I'll give the answer that I give for pretty much everything at the moment, but I think what I will always answer forever now is Helmut Lang, and I'm going to be really bad. I was supposed to look this up, but I'm pretty sure it's 2004 collection, but I'll probably get loads of like people slagging me off because that's wrong. But he did the collection whereby he had a series of biker jackets that I think were like made just for the show, and they had bottle tops attached to them. And actually, I'm not really being that controversial at all there, am I? Because it's really, really literal. It looks like a piece of punk clothing. But in the context of his work, which is actually quite clean and minimal, I love his ability to just whack something like that in there and be quite literal in some regard. And I think if we're talking, that criticism, whatever might exist of the show, for instance, but let's, then remember it's about fashion and punk as opposed to just punk outright. And I think what he does with the punk aesthetic within a fashion context, which is changing it slightly, and modifying it and cleaning it up or moving around sort of the way you interpret it, with all his bondage as well, which always has like a medical lean to it, but really is quite very punky as well, all those straps hanging down the back and stuff. I mean, I've really started collecting it now. I'm buying it on eBay, and I've noticed the price is going through the roof. I was watching a bomber jacket recently and went for over $1,000.
I'm interested that when you were joking, you're kind of like, I don't even know if I've got the kind of collection right, because it's interesting because you can kind of look at any Helmut Lang collection and there's something punkish about it, because what he did at the time, I think, easy to kind of forget now, was so revolutionary. Why were you so excited about it? Why is he someone who you've been drawn to?
And I still haven't even got it across in my own work. I've still got so much to learn with what I do, and I just want to get to where he, not be him obviously, but get to that point that kind of references fall away and it just becomes about what he's made, as opposed to an accumulation of different points and people go, oh, this, Caesar, that. He just did Helmut Lang, didn't he? And it was, just for so much as I get a bit frustrated, and I think sometimes people think what I do is a bit streety, but I wouldn't want to feel that what I did was street, or I don't know. I'm talking that just I find I'm so in awe of him, and that he just creates his own world, and it's not street or it's not high fashion. It's just it is very high fashion, but he brings in very strong street elements, but they don't get kind of not very literal, which I find incredibly interesting. And I like a bit of confusion, and I like a bit of stuff that's hard to kind of read, and I guess he's the most successful of that. And he dips in and out of art, but you wouldn't say he was too, trying not to do anything, be a fashion designer. He will just do strong collaborations with people like Jenny Holzer or whatnot. And the beauty and the sexualness to what he did, that wasn't overt in a kind of Versace way as much as I like that, ridiculousness of showing off a bloke's nipple with a hole in a vest that's really well cut and amazing. A bit medical with the stuff he'd do with the kind of bondage on hands. And I've been buying weird little bits of his online. Like, you can buy some very strange, I think I just bought, this shouldn't be a soundbite really, I think I just bought a condom holder by him. I'm not really sure what it is. It's an elasticated, like, little embroidered pouch, and I think it's for a condom, but it just sort of goes across the body, and it's just like faintly ridiculous but faintly genius as well.
I like that idea of faintly ridiculous but faintly genius, because that pretty much sums up punk, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And his, again, I was looking, as ever, I spend most of my life doing on eBay. I was looking this morning, there was a white sweater on there, and he just had the most beautiful cutaway section for the forearm, which you wouldn't really think of as sort of an erogenous zone or something, but it's really quite powerful, and that's isolated with the rest of the body's covered up. And then you just got these two sort of forearms either side, a bit of flesh or whatnot. So I think he sort of understands the power of flesh, actually, And it's sort of showing when it's hidden as well, where it is, and just the sort of beauty, especially in a men's sense. I don't know why, all his stuff comes back to military as well, which is essentially a punk thing, isn't it? Because it would be accessible from a surplus store, and kids can go and buy it there, and it would be a punk, and those amazing flight trousers that he would change, and I'm sure some bondage trousers, and so it's got that kind of inherent. It's almost like it's necessary, his clothes. It doesn't seem too frivolous at the same time, because they're based on military pieces. And just the way a jacket looks when you have a piece of elastic hanging out the back, it looks good.